Cowboys Nation, what is going on? It's Nick here with Cowboys Reality Check. And today we are getting into something that has been quietly building behind the scenes, something that a lot of fans are starting to talk about, and honestly something that I think could define whether this Dallas Cowboys defense makes a real leap in 2026 or just looks good on paper. There is a future Hall of Famer out there, still unsigned, still playing, and the head coach of your Dallas Cowboys just went on national television and made it very, very clear where he stands. So if you are new here, welcome to Cowboys Reality Check. Make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, smash the like on this video, and let's get into it. Here is the moment that set everything off. Brian Schottenheimer is sitting down with Kay Adams on the Up and Adams show, and she brings up Bobby Wagner's name. Now, you might expect a coach to give the standard non-answer. We're evaluating all options corporate speak that tells you absolutely nothing. But that is not what happened. What happened is that Brian Schottenheimer looked into that camera and said, "You're looking at one of the biggest Bobby Wagner fans in the world." He went on to talk about being in Seattle with Wagner from 2018 to 2020 as the offensive coordinator, watching him compete on the other side of the ball every single day, watching him lead, watching him lock in. And then he called him, and I am going to quote this directly, a total stud who is still playing at a high level. Cowboys Nation, that is not a coach being polite. That is a coach making a public statement. That is Brian Schottenheimer doing everything short of sending Wagner a signed contract through the television screen. And when you understand the linebacker situation this team is actually walking into, that statement hits completely different. Let's be honest about where Dallas is at inside linebacker right now, because the reality is not pretty. This team just came off one of the worst defensive seasons in recent Cowboys memory. The inside linebacker room was a revolving door of inconsistency, missed assignments, and broken plays. Going into training camp, Dallas is looking at Dee Winters, who they had to trade for from San Francisco, third-round rookie Jaishawn Barham out of Michigan, and second-year player Jaishawn Barham as the primary options at the position. Brian Schottenheimer himself openly admitted that the Cowboys had made some really strong runs at inside linebackers this offseason, and that it hadn't worked out. That is the head coach of your football team on the record, telling you the linebacker room is not where he wants it to be. That is not spin. That is honesty. And it means the door for Bobby Wagner is very much still open. Now, here's where it gets really interesting because this is not just about filling a roster spot. Bobby Wagner is not just a player. Wagner is a 10-time Pro Bowl selection, an 11-time All-Pro, one of only 3 linebackers in NFL history to reach that mark alongside Ray Lewis and Lawrence Taylor, the Super Bowl champion, and the 2025 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. The man is the standard by which NFL linebackers have been measured for over a decade. When he was with Washington last season at 35 years old, he played all 17 games and finished with 162 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 4.5 sacks, and 2 interceptions. Pro Football Focus graded him at a 78.6, a more than respectable number for a player at any age, let alone one who is staring down his 36th birthday. Yes, his coverage has slipped. Yes, he's not the Wagner of 2014 or 2016. But he is still one of the best tackling linebackers in the NFL, and more importantly, one of the most intelligent players the game has ever seen. And now, Brian Schottenheimer, who spent 3 years alongside him in Seattle, wants him on this football team. That connection is not nothing. That is real. Here is the tension that Cowboys Nation is actually debating right now, and it is a fair one. On one side, you have people saying, sign him immediately. Get Bobby Wagner in here, put him next to Dee Winters, let him be the quarterback of this defense, let him be the green dot, let him handle the communication and the pre-snap adjustments and teach these young defenders what it looks like to do this job at the highest level. Because right now, Schottenheimer has openly said he does not even know who the green dot is going to be. He said he has a favorite, but won't reveal it. That tells you the communication infrastructure of this defense is still being figured out. And a player like Wagner, who has been operating as a defensive signal caller for his entire career, could solve that problem overnight. On the other side of this debate, there are fans who will tell you that signing a 36-year-old linebacker, no matter how legendary, risks slowing down the development of the young players Dallas just invested in. Jaishawn Barham is a third-round pick with legitimate versatility. The Cowboys already see him playing both inside and outside. Dee Winters was acquired specifically to compete for a starting role. Jaishawn Barham is a young player with upside this staff clearly believes in. The argument goes, if you bring in Bobby Wagner, does Barham get reps? Does Winters get a real chance? Or does a veteran presence, even one with the resume of a Hall of Famer, end up being a ceiling instead of a floor? And that Cowboys Nation is the question this fan base is genuinely split on right now. Would signing Bobby Wagner make Dallas a legitimate contender? Or would it slow down the very young linebackers this organization just built its defensive future around? Drop your answer in the comments right now. I want to hear it. Are you pro Wagner? Do you trust the process with the young guys? Let me know. And while the Cowboys are debating whether to lean on a veteran leader like Bobby Wagner defensively, they are taking the complete opposite approach offensively, betting on young explosiveness in the backfield. His name is Jaydon Blue, and quietly, almost under the radar, he is starting to enter the conversation as a serious weapon in this backfield. And if Dallas finally gets consistent speed and explosiveness out of the RB2 position, this offense could look completely different from anything we saw last season. Here is the context. Blue came in as a fifth-round pick out of Texas in the 2025 draft with massive expectations. Electric feet, home run threat, real receiving ability out of the backfield, the kind of player you dream about as a change-of-pace back. But his rookie year was a mess. Professionalism concerns before camp even started. An ankle injury, a fumble that got him benched. He spent the majority of the season as a healthy scratch, appearing in just 5 games only to step into the lead role in Week 18 with Javonte Williams and Malik Davis both out, and he delivered 16 carries, 64 yards, a touchdown, a 27-yard run that reminded everyone watching exactly what the upside looks like. It was 1 week, Cowboys Nation, 1 week. But it was enough. Now here's what matters heading into 2026. Dallas did not sign a veteran running back in free agency. They did not draft one. That is not an accident. The Cowboys believe in the Javonte Williams and Jaydon Blue pairing. One reporter with direct access inside the Star has described the vision as thunder and lightning. Williams being the thunder, physical and downhill and hard to bring down, and Blue being the lightning, the speed you cannot scheme against, the change of pace back that defenses have to account for on every single snap. If Blue comes into this offseason with the maturity and discipline that was missing in year 1, if he wins this backfield competition over Malik Davis and Phil Maffa, and if he becomes the consistent complement to Javonte Williams that this staff has envisioned, this offense gets a dimension it simply did not have last year. Dak Prescott already has CeeDee Lamb. He already has George Pickens on that franchise tag. Add a genuine speed threat in the backfield who defenses have to honor, and the play-action game alone becomes a completely different conversation. The Cowboys are counting on Jaydon Blue to grow up this offseason. The question is whether he has. And that storyline, understated as it is right now, may tell us a lot about how explosive this Dallas offense is capable of being in 2026. Cowboys Nation, this team is being rebuilt right before our eyes. The defense has been overhauled. The linebacker room is still a work in progress. A future Hall of Famer is still out there unsigned, and the head coach of this team has made no secret of how he feels about him. And quietly, the offensive backfield might be building something special. There's a lot happening, and we are going to stay on top of every single bit of it right here on Cowboys Reality Check. If you are not subscribed, do it right now. It's free, and it helps this channel more than you know. Like this video, share it with a Cowboys fan who needs to see it, and drop your Bobby Wagner take in the comments below. I read every single one. I'm Nick, this is Cowboys Reality Check, and we'll see you in the next one.